Today we're going to be working on the Traxxas Slash 4x4 VXL. I noticed at full throttle, when I take off at full throttle, it seems like it wants to lift one of the front wheels and one of the back wheels is wanting to catch before the other one. I also noticed one of the tires is wearing quicker than the other one. I believe I know what the problem is, but we're going to take it, put it on the bench, check it out. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take this wheel off. Let's see, I believe it's that one. Pop the wheel off. If you look, the other night when I was running this car, it sounded like there was gravel getting caught inside the drive shafts and something. And if you look real close, you can see, well, let's see if you can see. You can see right in here where this shaft has actually been rubbing the inside of the A-arm. And I believe it's because this bearing, I believe it's because of this bearing carrier here. It's got a crack in it or something's wrong with it. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this wheel nut off, take it all loose and check it out. I found this is a turnbuckle wrench. I found it the best thing to get the wheel bolt nuts off with. Just pops right off like that. Take that little king pin out, just like that. Let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that out. Let me see if I got the right one. Yeah. Oh, let me go ahead and get these washers out of the way before I forget about them. There should be one washer on the outside, but I believe I've got two in this one because I wanted to take some play out. Well, maybe I don't. I thought I did. Maybe I don't. A lot of times, if you notice, you'll get to a certain point on these and you just keep screwing and screwing and screwing and it don't go nowhere. But if you take like a little Allen wrench, put it on the other side and push on the back side of the screw, it'll back itself right on out. Okay, before I take it all the way out, I'm gonna take this linkage off the top here, this A-arm linkage. Okay, got it loose. Just set it to the side, and we'll go ahead and continue to take this A-arm screw out. Okay, there we go. It's all the way out. All right, go take this A-arm loose. Bearing carrier, I can't say that too good. Bearing carrier, mine's got a little washer in it. Yours won't. I'll put that in there. Cut down on some play a while back. And the bearing carrier just slides right off. I did have a second washer like I thought on the inside. It was just dirty and thin. And you should have one on the back side. I believe I do, yeah. Yeah, I do. That's it right there. One on the back side. And like I expected, this A-arm is, not A-arm, this bearing carrier is cracked. Let me see if I can put something in it to show you. It's got a crack. It's got a bad crack in it. Let's see if I can show you the crack. Right there, see the crack there? There's a crack on that side. And there's a crack on the top side. So that's what's causing it not to hook up right when I stand on the throttle. So that's the problem. We got to change this A-arm, not A-arm. I keep saying A-arm. We got to change this bearing carrier out. All right. And Traxxas calls for part number 1952. That's slash 4x4 VXL. I don't see no right or left markings on these, so I believe they will probably be, they look almost identical, so we will only need one. Okay, now I'm going to slide the car out of the way. We've got to remove these bearings from in here, and I have no idea how to remove them. Let me just see if I can get them to budge a little bit with a screwdriver. They are moving a little bit, but I don't want to kill the bearing. You can see I'm slowly getting the bearing out of there. Just stick it in the middle and just slowly rotate around till it comes out. Could probably soak it in some WD-40. Some people like WD-40 on their bearings. Some people don't. Okay, got the bearing. That is the outer bearing. I don't know if it matters. And that bearing is good. So that's good. My workbench is a mess, y'all. Okay, and then you've got the inner bearing. We'll do it the same way. Just take a screwdriver and just kind of work it in a circle, just a little bit at a time until you can get it to pop out of there. It's probably better. It's got a little separation ridge there in the inside, so you can't really just shove it. I guess you could stick something in it a little big and probably push it through. You know, if it's real easy on it. We'll try that. We'll try a pencil eraser and just see if we can just push it. Yes, move it a little bit. And there it goes. We pushed it out with a pencil eraser. And there's the inner bearing. What I want to do is try to grab the center of it and see if I can feel if it is actually spinning any. These bearings are so small, it's hard to take. Yeah, that one there actually feels better than the outside one. Oh yeah, that feels good. Both of them feel good. And I believe they're the exact same bearing. This one feels a little rough, but I don't know. I think this is part, these bearings are 5116A. Kind of concerned about this one. I might just go ahead and change it out. Put a new one in there because it don't have the same smoothness that this one does. No, it don't. So I'm gonna change that bearing out. That one's bad. We're gonna put it in the trash. Let me look at my diagram to make sure I'm getting the right one. Let's see. I got my diagram. I got it in a little plastic sheet here to keep it from getting dirty. And this here calls for 5116. I don't know. I've got a 5116A. Which evidently that's the same part. So we'll go ahead and get one of them off the pegboard and put it in there. And like all my videos, I forgot to bring my knife out here. I'm not racing or anything like that, so it's okay for me just to keep one bearing and change one bearing. Yeah, this bearing's a lot smoother. I can't actually feel the ball bearings in it. When I turn it, I can't feel it. And I like it when I can't feel it. All right, so there's the old bearing carrier with the crack in it. We'll put it in the trash. We're gonna seat these two new bearings in the bearing carrier, and I believe they're identical. I should have looked on that sheet. They look identical. I'm gonna put the new one on the outside because that's where the one went out earlier. Press it right into the outside, and we'll press the other one into the inside, just like that. Okay, now we're gonna start reassembling. Okay, make sure this thing's still got a washer on it. Check that washer, make sure that washer's got a little bit of thickness left to them. That washer looks good. Yeah, that washer looks good. So I'll go ahead and put it in here. We can go ahead and slide it on the car. See the little one that's on the outside. There's only one way to put this on. It's splined with 4 splines, 2 skinny ones and 2 bigger ones. It fits up in there just like that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put the bottom pin back in. I believe that would be the best thing to do. And I didn't know it till the other day. A guy pointed it out on the forum. Like, if you keep the same A-arm for a long time, you can actually screw it in from either way. because these A-arms are self-threading, and it basically puts the thread into the plastic the first time you put one in there. So if you got one that keeps backing out on you, like on this side, factory side, you can actually put it in this side and kind of keep it from backing out on you. And also use some blue Loctite 242. Use the blue, don't use the red. Use the red, you're dead. Use the red, it's hard to get the red back off. It's almost impossible. I'm gonna put that little washer back in there if I can get it back in there. And this washer I use is the same washer that goes on the top of your shocks. Up in here, I don't believe I have. I thought I had some in. Yeah, and the part for these washers, which is the same washer up top, is 2746. The hard part is to get it in there because it has to go right in between there, and I'm probably gonna get my head in this shot. There we go. You can see, you can just barely see it in there. I'll probably have to wedge it in there a little bit better to get the screw to go through it. It just tightens up the gap in there because it has wore a pretty good bit. And this is the point where you get you some of this little thread locker, and try not to put a lot. I think a little is a lot. Ooh, that's enough. That's actually too much. The reason you don't want to get a lot of this stuff on your parts or when you put this stuff in is because if I was to screw that up and it mushroom over into this joint here, it would lock it down and this wouldn't be able to move freely. It happened not too long ago. I noticed that I was bending a lot of shock shafts. I was bending a lot of them, you know, on all four really. And what happened is I was using Loctite on my shock screws. And this screw here has a point where it's got no threads on it and the shock rods on it. With that Loctite, when I'd screw it in, I couldn't see it, but it would bleed back in where the shock rods on this screw, and it would cause it to seize up. It was causing me all kind of headaches until I figured it out. Okay, we're gonna just continue screwing that in with the Loctite. All right, that feels pretty good. Yeah, that feels pretty. I'm just gonna make sure I got enough on it. Oh yeah, we got enough on it. That feels real good right there. And we'll put the top. I really need to read what these things are called. This support back into the bearing carrier, rear bearing carrier. I want to try to get it straight. I've got the reason, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. The reason that screw is stuck inside that end on that turnbuckle is because it has had some Loctite get on it before, one time or another. See, it's had Loctite get on it one time or another. And that's what the problem is. Loctite can be your friend, it can also be your enemy. On these turnbuckles, the ends, also make sure the fat end on everything I've seen always goes towards the screw head. And the other end goes over here. Okay, we're gonna try to line this up where it goes in straight. Once I get my driver in there. And I'm having trouble seeing it. I hope y'all not seeing the top of my ugly head so much. All right, we got it going. Ooh. There's no need for Loctite on that screw with this being the first time I've took this bearing carrier out. And there we go, it's tightened up. Why did it just catch right there? Oh, I know why it caught, because I don't have the kingpin, the washer, and the cap on. So that's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna put the washer back. And I actually had two on this one, but I'm gonna trash this one because, as you can tell, it's pretty well spent. It's got like an indent. See how it's kind of flared up on the ends. It's served its life. Here's almost a practically new one, and you can see it's looking good. So we'll just slide it on the spindle. Check and see how much room we got in there. We might have room for another one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you got a little bit in there. So we're gonna go ahead and throw another one of them washers in there. And let me see if I can find them. And this washer is part number 1985. Okay, there we go with part number, what was it, 1985. And it just slides right up on there. Now we're gonna put the kingpin back in, put the wheel nut on, and we should be good to go. Here's the wheel nut. Try to get it as straight as I can. There's all kind of upgrades for these cars. I've seen these wheel nuts with little Allen screws in them. It's not fitting on there too good. Now I've got to check and make sure it's lined up. Looks pretty close. Let's take this screwdriver. Just tap that in a little bit. Check it again. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but this is the only way that I've been able to do it. Take a pair of channel locks, put it right behind the bearing carrier, and just apply a little pressure and it pops right in there. Okay, now you see where we had that play in there where it was eating into the rear A-arm. There's play in there like it should be, but not enough to actually hit the A-arm. So we're in good shape, There's plenty of room, plenty of clearance in there. You know, I could let that go a little bit longer, but There ain't no telling what they could have tore up. It could have broke my drive axle. Could have locked that down. Could have burnt my motor up over time. So we're gonna put the wheel back on, and that should be it for this video. You always want to look from the outside. To check and make sure you got it on. Find your wheel nut. And you can put a little bit of a Loctite on the threads. It's probably best too on this one because this axle here is pretty, this drive axle is pretty old. Not as old as some of these other ones on it, but it's pretty old. And now we're gonna start the nut back onto the axle. All right, now when I nail the throttler off the line, the car should stay straight. And it should lift one wheel more than the other one. So hopefully that's got our problem fixed. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, whatever button. Thank you very much.